Hey everybody, this is Professor Lillie, and so I just wanted to talk to you about where we are in the semester. We are now officially we have entered Module 5, which is the research starting the research project phase, the data collection phase. So uh, everyone, as of yesterday, should have and did submit their project presentations, um, and they all look really good. I'm not sure why this isn't allowing me to. Okay. Um, and so I've been coming through and about, I don't know, a third or almost a half of the way of commenting on on your proposals. So just telling you what I think and giving some suggestions. Some general suggestions that I have are for the surveys. I think that those of you who are doing surveys and using Qualtrics, which I do recommend, um, I think that you want to go ahead and start your creating your survey. And it takes a little time to figure out Qualtrics and how to add questions. For those of you who are looking at users of a particular area of platform or app, you can use, for example, checkbox and check the boxes of the apps you use, and then for all of these, and for surveys, if you end up getting a fair number of respondents, then asking a few demographic questions that should be closed answered. So like a pull down for male and female, or something like that, where the possibilities for answers or multiple choice, where the possibilities are limited by you. So that's what I mean by closed answer. Those are great. They can help to kind of find out trends and find out areas where people are spending most of their time, or apps they're using. But you want to make sure you have several good open-ended questions. And what I'd like you to do is go ahead and this week start your survey, creating your survey, and as soon as you feel like it's close to being done, email me the URL for the survey. I'll click on it and I'll look at it and I'll email you back that day or the next day some feedback, or my own suggestions on how to make it stronger. Um, and remember that for surveys, it will take a while to get responses. So you will send it out, and then that day or the next day you might get a couple, but probably not too many. So it probably will take at least a week, and also for you to post it multiple places, like send out personal emails to people, put it on Facebook, Twitter, whatever, to try to get people, whatever the user group you're looking at. Think of strategies for getting people to see that URL and decide to take it, and that'll take a little while. So for those of you who are doing interviews, you probably realized or discovered in the wiki tool assignment that their face-to-face interviews tend to get a lot of really good data, because you're having a really good, usually, conversation with a person. And you need to make sure that you're recording it in some way, so you can have your phone with a audio app on it. Best practices for interviews do say that you should, after the fact, transcribe it, so that you have all of the interview data in text form, and then at that point you start looking for categories and themes. So there are apps out there that can transcribe an audio recording to text, and there are also some apps out there that allow you to live transcribe. So basically, kind of like you might have seen on most cell phone text applications. or even email applications. You can click on a little microphone and it'll automatically dictate your voice and turn it into text. So if you can find an app like that where you can have it on your phone or on your laptop and put it next to the interviewee, and so that's recording live what they say and transcribing it into text. I think that's even the best, so that you, rather than writing down responses that you don't really want to do, and that's because you want to be actively listening to what they're saying so you can ask follow-up questions. That's one reason why doing a Facebook message type conversation with one person one-on-one, or if you're doing a focus group with several people over the course of a couple days, is really useful, because the answers are automatically transcribed for you and then available for data coding. And like I said, I am going through, I've already answered or I've given feedback to 5 or 6 of the presentations. I think Matthew was the only person who did a VoiceThread presentation, and I've already answered him. So you should, in the next couple of days, you should go back to the proposal blog and look for my comments. I do also would like for you all to look through other people's presentations. I mean, it would take a long time to look at everyone's, but look at a few that you're interested in and offer an encouragement or an idea on a comment on the blog post. And also, I think it's just good to see what other people are doing, and you might get some ideas. So basically, and remember that, I'm sure you're breathing a sigh of relief that you've done your proposal, but this week you should be doing work to set up your study and to get it started. So whatever if you're doing interviews, go ahead and set up those interviews. When are you going to do them? What type of method you're going to use? So on and so forth. I think that basically you can give yourself 2 weeks, this week and next week, to collect the data. So I think by like around election day, I guess on the 7th or 8th is, I think you want to be kind of wrapping up that data collection, and then in that second week in November is when you start analyzing the results, which means you're kind of looking at all the data you've collected and trying to make sense of it. That's what most of these materials here for Module 5 are about. So, for example, I've put a lecture here on writing the research paper and doing data coding. And actually, I've edited this, so mostly it's about data coding. So, and specifically how I data coded for a qualitative survey that I did, and later on turned it into this paper here. So what I've included is a pre-publication of a version of a paper I did about a study of journalists who created audio slideshows to present news, and I did a qualitative survey of 35 such journalists who were at the time creating audio slideshows. And so in the video, I go through and talk about, here's all this data I have, and how do I figure out categories and themes that I pulled out of the data to then present in the paper. And it also talks a little bit about if you end up choosing the paper option. Remember that there's basically 2 options for presenting your study, your project after it's over, after you've collected the data. And that's either you write a 15-page paper, and this video here talks about what that paper might look like, or you do a Prezi-type presentation, similar to what you did for your project proposals, but certainly much more in depth, where you're going through what the topic is, what are the research questions, here's all the literature that I found on this particular topic, here is the data collection tool that I chose to collect data and why I chose this particular tool, and then presenting the actual findings or the results of your data collection, and then your analyzation of it, how you make meaning of it. What does this all mean? How does this data help to answer your research questions? And I will be talking more about that as we get more into November. So basically, the second week of November, you start that data analyzation process so that by the middle of November, you're able to actually start your final project presentation. And that'll take a while for you to kind of get into it. It should be a presentation that would take a person on Prezi about 15 or 20 minutes to go through that presentation. And again, the first week of the semester, and at the beginning on the top of our Moodle page, I posted like 7 or 8 final presentations from the last semester. There is a video that I posted on Prezi's and how to do a rough draft of that. Everyone will be submitting a rough draft of your presentation in either paper or Prezi form right before Thanksgiving. I'll post right here as a sample A paper, but I'll post a sample A presentation. You've already seen some of them, and here are some of the paper and Prezi guidelines. So again, though, I will add some ways for basically a blog for Prezi rough drafts to be turned in, and if anyone chooses a paper, then I will put a little application called Turn It In that allows you to submit a PDF or a Word document that I can then comment on. So that's basically where we are in the semester. Near the end of the data collection phase, which again I think you should basically give you this week and next week to do that. Then I'll post a little bit more in terms of more feedback and more direction for where we're at that point. So if anyone has any questions, then please email me. I have added this this Module 5 forum. So basically that's to ask questions about the project. I think what I'll do is I will go in here and I will add my own first post. And if you could respond to that post with your questions, and the reason why I asked you to do that is because then it will email me every time someone adds a question or a comment to that post, so that I'll know that you have a question, and then I'll immediately be able to go in there and respond to it. And so these are kind of general questions that you think other people might, if you're kind of not sure of how to ask certain questions, or doing some aspect of analyzing, anything that you think other members of the class might benefit hearing my answer to, then you can go ahead and ask it on this question forum. If you have something really particular to only your project topic, then you can email me, and that's fine. And again, please stay tuned to still to the project presentation blog to just get my basic feedback on your presentation. Okay, but at this point, you should go ahead and start getting ready to collect your data and actually collecting your data. One thing to note that near the end of that kind of 2 weeks for data collection is the election. So I'm not sure, that's probably not a good time to try to schedule interviews or expect people to be doing online surveys, because I think everyone's going to be really focusing on the election at that point. So really you want to take advantage of this week and the beginning of next week to get as much work as you possibly can done on collecting that data. So good luck and go for it. And I'm really excited to see what kind of data you're able to collect.